Hi, my name is John Silson. I'm from the State Department's Office of Development Finance, and I'm here to talk to you guys about a new program that we've come up with at the Department of State that we're calling the Business Information Database System, or maybe we'll start playing. BIDS for short. We like acronyms in the State Department. Hold on a minute. I can keep going if that's easier.
Yeah, keep going.
Okay, so eventually the video is going to catch up with this. This is going to get even more interesting right now. What this is about collecting trade leads from around the world, business relevant information. The way that we do this right now happens in a really analog way, right? We get cables and reports through the Department of Commerce, catching up now, that flash around the world like light bulbs, right? They turn off and they turn on. We see them come in and we're able to process them into information that's useful for the US private sector. Through this approach, we get a lot of great information. We get it from dedicated officers from the State Department, also officers from the Department of Commerce, and we get it from our embassies and consulates all over the world. We bring this information back into Washington, D.C., and then we push it out to the US private sector in an effort to help them understand what kind of opportunities are overseas. But we can do that better. We're using older technology, and there are other problems that are preventing us from collecting leads. As a result of this and other things, leads reported have fallen by about 85%, right? That looks great in a graph, but even better on a map. There's 85% gone. But US businesses tell us that this information is really useful. So how do we respond to that? Let's think to the internet, right? Imagine that you were looking for gas on your smartphone and you got a list of gas stations instead of a map. Which one of those two things is more useful? Right? We all use mapping technology all the time. Zillow, if I want to depress myself about how expensive houses are in Washington. Walkability, if I want to see what neighborhoods to live in. Map my run to see where I went last weekend. Or Yelp to find a restaurant. Right? What if finding a trade lead were as easy as finding a restaurant? That's what we're trying to do. What if I told you we could make a persistent online database that's accessible, has metrics, and is easy to search? You might call me crazy, and you'd probably say I don't work for the federal government. But that's what we're trying to do. BID supports 5 main activities. The first, bringing data automatically into the State Department. The second, commenting on projects already in the database. The third, clearing leads to make a good stream of data from the private sector. And finally, automatically shipping that to the private sector. Also, we're integrating metrics so we can track patterns over time and try to understand what's happening in the procurement world. Right? Imagine looking at a map of the world where the US private sector and government can see procurement opportunities as they appear in a persistent database all over the globe. Right? So a US business could click on a dot, have information appear about a potential lead, and then know who to contact. Right? Let's take a look at the website itself that we're building. The first instance is adding a lead. Adding a lead is a lot like using any kind of website that you've used before, right? You go through our form, you fill out the various aspects of the lead, you describe what you're seeing, you tell us about it, you add your contact information, and you categorize it with some sectors. Let's look at a second one, adding a comment to a lead. This is a scenario where a lead is already in the database, and you have an opportunity to look at the lead and comment on it. Maybe you had a meeting with the minister who's in charge of it. Maybe you met with the World Bank representative who's overseeing the loan. It's an opportunity for you to tell us what's going on the ground so that we can relay that to the private sector automatically and quickly. Add your contact information so that you can be the person that people reach out to. Finally, researching patterns. Imagine that you could look at energy projects around the world, right? Eliminate the sort of extraneous data that you don't need to research, and do a comparison between types of projects in different kinds of countries, looking at size of project or even detailed information about the projects. But let's take that one step further. Right? Other agencies collect data too. Trade leads, I've been talking about life as the center of the universe, but it's not. It's actually part of a broad set of data that we collect around the US government all the time. What if we could take this data and start to put it together in a mapped way so that people could understand more effectively things that are happening around the world? Here's a simple example with data that comes from World Resources Institute. Imagine you look at water vulnerability data in Africa, right? Take a closer look and then layer our trade leads on top of that about agricultural investment. you can understand something about the response that's happening to water vulnerability around the world. This has been a great opportunity for me to learn something, both about Ignite presentations and about data mining. So I want to thank the team that's worked with me on this from around the State Department, also the Tech and State team, and all of you for coming. This is an important opportunity for us to talk with you and to get to know all of you. So thanks very much.